really using their depth as the first pull is up. The game is underway. DC Rogue on offense to start out. A tight person match. High swing on the far side. It's floating and no good. The Warhawks mostly from the Triangle area. Some players from Boone, a few hours away. As this is their first offensive possession in this girls' final. Another huck. Youngst bats it down. You can see all the intensity as Turnquist gets the disc. Dish it over to Nisley. And Sands will reset it. Collinson. And through the tight coverage, Youngst with the catch. So Rogue started on offense, looking to get that hold conversion. Turnquist with the disc. It's floating in the air. Help defense coming through. And Kate Lanier at the last.
Stay safe.
So Fugel will check it back in right outside the goal line. She'll reset it. Nisley looking for that shot and right to the front of the. So the Warhawks on offense. Pull is caught. Person defense from Rogue. Lanier with the disc. And one-handed catch keeps that possession. There's separation in the end zone, and that's a goal. Nisley receiving the pull. Get that swing and continuation. Working it with the handlers while they try to find some space downfield, and there's the huck. Youngst just snatches that out of the sky. Continuing on. So the Warhawks on offense. Lanier with the disc. And the huck right away. It's floating and sailing, and Ariano with that last second bat down.
She's been one of the more explosive athletes to watch so far this weekend. I think we can all agree.
Got a great layout, D, in the semifinal. She'll get the disc underneath, puts up the huck. Players go under it, but Maria Sutherland is there. There's a call on the play. See if maybe it was batted down. So there's a foul.
Looks like it's uncontested.
It looked like the way that came out of her hand that that wasn't just a throw.
So on the doorstep, Rogue looking to convert, and Grace Alston gets the catch.
Cash in on this bit of a double break opportunity with the wind. It's not insurmountable at this point, but it's definitely there.
So some give and go right off the bat. Gains yards up line. Barry to you. And that's floating high up, but it starts to drop. And
it's a really great pull.
That pull barely lands in. The strike cut. Turnquist with the disc. And Nisley just barreling through, but a foul's called. So it is a contested foul. It's essentially a redo. throwing into space. There's Youngs to catch it. And a big shot downfield.
What's going on downfield. So that was exactly what the Warhawks wanted, though, from that defensive set.
So now, Warhawks on offense. See a receiver going deep, but they'll keep it in the backfield. And there's the huck. 2 defenders deep, and that's caught nicely. Checks in, quick pass to Youngst, continues to Turnquist. See some handler pressure in this zone look. The disc is on the sideline. Cat Sands over to Ariano. And through some tight spaces. Still good to Sands. So there was a block there to get it back to the Warhawks. Floating overhead, Knisely's able to come through.
That was a big D there for Rogue, trying to get this downwind hold.
So back working with the handler movement. Alston over to Turnquist. Youngst is looking for that reset. Lots of spin. And the handlers for Rogue sometimes are very close to each other, which then the defense comes in, but Ariano catches it. High release backhand. Looking for Youngst, but Cleo Phillips gets that block.
Yeah, and you could see there that the Warhawks did a good job of staying home in those passing lanes, while the Rogue offensive handlers got a little bit stagnant.
So Lanier, far sideline, goes up the line to Phillips. They're looking to move it on the other side of the field. They do. Colton. Melissa Earhart over to Lanier. And a turnover. Ariano will come pick up for Rogue. So inside of half field, Rogue looking for the score. And who else but goes right past half field. LNU picking up. Earhart with the huck, looking for Margaret Berry. And Berry gets the goal. Warhawks. So, disc in play, DC Rogue on offense. And Chapel Hill is the third in the comments. I should know that. Looking for the next pass. Count's getting high. Very close though. It's completed. And she barely catches it, but using that wingspan.
Yeah, and so again, North Carolina is in that 3-3-1 look, and DC was getting a little bit stagnant again, having trouble getting enough motion between the different layers to cause some confusion for the Warhawks defenders.
So some patience from Youngston. Their handlers, they're able to keep possession as they're getting closer to the end zone. The shot's up. Will it stay in bounds?
Harder shot than she might have needed to.
So Warhawks on offense, a chance to take the lead. Hanging on to every possession, but the wind catches the throw. It's batted down by the defense. So Nisley will pick up and look to go over the top, but that's intercepted. Disc back to the Warhawks. There's the huck. It's hanging and D down.
You can tell just how much the wind is picked up with how quickly the throws are dying here for Rogue and just how much that throw sat up there for the Warhawks. It's turning into an up one, down one affair for sure. They're about to restart play. How this defense is working.
So another shot through the middle for DC Rogue as they are approaching the end zone. Another shot over the top. Last second bid through.
But for DC's credit, they've done a good job of holding the Warhawks down here with this strong wind. So they've gotten a lot of chances at it. We'll see if they can earn another chance. And Tornquist with another D. I think that might be her third this point.
I think it's at least her second.
At least her second, yeah.
I think it is her third. And you can see all the tight spaces throwing into. That throw around. Earhart underneath to Barry. Continuing over. And a layout D.
Frame is just incredible.
Really nice timing. That's the disc. Back to Rogue. Get her over to Ariano. But this time, the disc. You checking in on the near sideline. And the flick pops up, but the second. Checking in. Over to Sands. So some swings, but in the space is Earhart. Now Warhawks approaching the red zone, hoping to convert and take the lead. On that far sideline, working it. Looking to get more space, but the swing is incomplete. The disc goes back to Rogue, just a little bit further upfield where they fielded the pole. Youngst in the middle. Puts a little loft on it to get that continue. And you see the off handlers sagging the lane a little bit on those swings. High catch and shooting for the end zone.
Like, we have the athletes to go person against you, but we're still going to junk up your lanes somewhat. So it's interesting adjustment there as they change their line, they change their defense.
So Warhawks back on offense. Looking for the continuation throws. We've had some deep cuts, but the passes have mostly been underneath. Now a pick.
Wind from earlier in the game, chance for the Warhawks. There's almost no wind. This is a really big break opportunity for them before the wind potentially picks back up again.
And right over the top. And that is a goal.
End zone. And Rogue will see if they can keep them here on the doorstep.
And through the connection, it's incomplete. Mioneer gets the D, But the next pass, as it falls to the ground, is good. Fugel high and up. Sands, one-handed catch. Sees open underneath to Mioneer. Looking for the continuation to Sands. It's good. Over to Knisley. She shoots, looking for Youngst. Ella Youngst.
These kinds of players are here watching and being like, wow, I couldn't do that.
So Warhawks with the disc. Barry underneath. Continue. Phillips. And LNU working hard to get open. Get that over to Earhart. Back over to you. Continuing up to Phillips. As the Warhawks look for those handler swings and the end zone shot. And so Rogue on offense. They bring 4 handlers back. That sometimes could cause a little bit of confusion, but manages to keep the possession. Collinson to Knisley. And just out of the grasp.
Showed a lot of grit. Very good team we got to commentate on last round against Rogue. Very evenly matched game there, so I'm sure they probably would have been able to give the Warhawks a pretty good game as well, given how close this has been.
So sliding catch keeps the possession alive as Warhawks are looking to get the break.
The Warhawks.
So Barry with the one-handed catch. Just yards outside the end zone.
Otherwise them to cut, but they're just very close together.
And that small pass was incomplete. So disc goes to Rogue. And intercepted. Another opportunity for the Warhawks to break. And that pass, difficult spot for the first throw, but it's completed. The next pass, not. So a lot of nerves from both sides. So much adrenaline and excitement in this final. This goes to Barry. Now over to Lanier. And the shot to the end zone. I was wearing sweatpants and a scarf. Now I'm in shorts and a tank top, if that helps. Gauge it at all. And through the contact, Sands catches it. Continues up the line. Alston over to Sands. She'll reset. Youngst to Sands. Looking to tie up the game. That continue on. Turnquist through coverage. And she
Bolton, Margaret Berry, and of course Kate Lanier.
So Lanier and Earhart working it from the handler set. Over to LNU. Nice cut and fake on the inside. Phillips. They set it to Earhart, over to Lanier.
Lanier looks like she's thinking about taking a shot downfield.
And the throw is over the defender. So Warhawks on defense. Alston with the disc. And low to the ground. The disc goes back.
And I think
Triangle.
I think that downwind and the poaching handler set really made that throw have to come in a little bit hotter and just die a little more quickly than she wanted.
So Phillips with the disc goes to Barry. And high point grab. Earhart nearing the end zone, but
Matchup we keep getting teammates in future years, but right now they're just really making it life hard for each other.
nice grab from LNU inside to Earhart. And a quick dish, still not in. There's that continuation. A chance to go to half, and that is still not in, but the next throw. Lanier picks up, goes to Earhart, and from behind is able to catch it. Phillips going to Jennifer Wang. Barry with some space, back to Phillips. Yu with the disc to Earhart. Inside to Phillips. Connects to Earhart. They'll take a lead by 2 if they can score here. And Marks will be their first possession of the second half. Over to Nisley. Back over to Collinson. They swing over to the far side. Back to the middle as the Cutters are cycling through, but resetting on the far side. A bid and a layout to Lainey O'Neill gets the block. And now Warhawks on offense. Raider goes back over to O'Neill, back to Raider. And the Warhawks looking to get yards upfield. We'll gain about 15 or so. They continue. Some give and goes. We have some switches from the defense, and the Huck is flying up. 2 defenders to Youngst. Continues to Turnquist, and there's the deep shot. It's 3-on-3, but intercepted. It's like the disc volleying between teams. Raider inside underneath to Church. Youngst with the layout, but the disc is caught. So Warhawks looking for their second straight goal in this second half. Still a little bit outside the red zone. Working with lots of swings. They're slowly working their way up the field. And right through the coverage, Raider shoot. Alston with the disc to Ariano. Find Turnquist isolated in the forced space. swinging over Ariano. And tight space, Grace Neer. Maya Neer. And Alston puts that up, looking for Kat Sands, and disc centered to Lanier, and the huck is floating in the air and caught through coverage by Phillips. Barry shoots for the end zone. So Rogue on offense. Underneath to Turnquist, to Youngst. The count's getting high. She'll reset it to Turnquist. And a little bit of back and forth. The sag that you see from the off handlers is to prevent the upfield. Maya Neer going for it, not in. And through the space, Ella Young. LMU headed to Vanderbilt this fall. Colton, and nice layout from Wang. Another layout from Barry. He'll reset it to Earhart up the line. Gaining yards, looking to take the lead back to 3, but some tight coverage from DC. He'll continue with the swings. You just outside the goal. Counts rising, she'll reset. Over to Lanier, and a hand block. Ariano, just such a defensive presence. Layout snag from Ariano, but that continuation is incomplete. You walking over to pick up, underneath to Barry. And a line drive down the line. But at the last moment, Chloe Fugel gets that block. So Alston will walk it up to the front cone. Over to Ariano. Continues to Turnquist. And towing in will stay in bounds, Youngst. Turnquist over to Youngst. Youngst with the snag. Over to Alston, continuing Turnquist, but a pick called before. Ariano nearly back at the handler spot. And going deep are a few receivers. Will return to the Warhawks. Barry on the far sideline. Over to Earhart. Now Phillips to you. They'll continue the swing. Opens up more space on the field. So finding some openings is Colton to Lanier. Continue to Colton. That's Phillips. Colton, the every other, and popped up in the air. So there's an initiation play, a pull play through space to Near. Back over to Nicely. And so no contest. Checked back in over to Alston. To Nicely. Sands is open on the far sideline, and she puts the backhand up overhead. Just back into Warhawks. Huck right away. Too far.
Warhawks unable to connect on the deep hook. The deep hook, sorry. Leo Phillips. Coco Collinson picks up the road.
Pioneer through coverage, catches it. Back to Collinson. Through space to Ariano. Ariano with the flick Huck, looking for Sands. And Sands goes up twice. Back on the goal line for Rogue. Not in. Looking to take it back within 2, and Near. So LNU underneath to Wang. Warhawks so far keeping it on the far side. Ariano will pick it up. A chance for Rogue to narrow their deficit to 1, but they'll have to score and work it off of the sideline. Tornquist with the disc. Looks over to Jones. Continues to Ariano. She points, and on the next shot throws. 2 receivers back, intercepted by Earhart. And she walked a little too far past the goal line, so Lanier, first swing. LNU, line drive of a Huck. It's good to Khalil Phillips. Warhawks approaching scoring territory. Earhart to you. You so consistent. And she pull, caught by Collinson, sent to Nicely. Some handler movement in the backfield. Count rising. Sands is open. Moves up the line to Heil. And near the sideline, Barry runs through to get the block. And a turnover. Disc will go back to Rogue. Heads up, it's still floating. Caught by Turnquist. And it's floating and straight to Ella Youngst. That's a score for DC. Lanier will pick up over to Earhart. Isolation in the middle to Colton, over to Barry. Earhart to Colton. Back over to Earhart, looking to the end zone. And